welcome. Happy Thanksgiving week. November 20th. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. And we could have everybody remove their hats. Pledge allegiance here. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for taking your time to be here this evening. I'd like to, first order of business, we received the October minutes and like to take a look at the approval of October minutes. Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Dr. David Bramer, attorney at law, treasurer's report.
A double whammy.
Super
Doctor and a lawyer.
I know.
We have, start with the innkeeper's tax for October was $75,553.12, up around 16% from last year. So we're probably on the order of close to $700,000 for the year, which we thought would be about 12%. So good things continue to happen. We do have one claim from Visit Madison for marketing expenses of $11,472.39. Made a motion to approve the treasurer's report and the claim for marketing expenses for the month.
I move we accept the report. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, David. Moving right along. VMI's update.
All right, try to keep it short and sweet tonight. But we're doing, a lot on our plate right now. We got a lot of things happening. Doing the comfort station trial, we actually extended the trial longer than the month that we had planned. We're going another 3 weekends. And we're not doing the weekdays. The people just aren't there. The numbers aren't there to support that right now. But we are doing the next 3 weekends. Last weekend, this upcoming weekend, the first weekend in December, because we'll have a lot of people here for nights before Christmas. So we extended that. Overall, it's going well. I will have a full report on that and the trolley in December. But I was just looking at some preliminary numbers, had over 6,000 people come through the comfort station in that 4 weeks. That's a lot of people. We had about 10% that we talked to. They had a question about something or had to ask our team member about something. So that's pretty good. It's pretty wild to see how consistent that was almost every single day, whether we had 40 people come through or 400, 10% asking a question. So I'll have a full report once we get done doing that, but it's going really well. And again, I appreciate the Board of Tourism funding that to give us the information we need. And we're starting to work with the city on what that looks like over this winter. Trolley's also been a success. We've had last Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, both sellouts for the paid tour. We've only had one day out of we've been doing it about 2 weeks now. One day that hasn't had anybody on the paid tour. The loop routes are going okay, but we also were seeing lower numbers of visitors in town. We had done the loop routes about 3 weeks earlier. If it had all come together like I had hoped, we probably would have seen a little bit better numbers. But again, we'll do a full report on that in December. We are ramping up for Nights Before Christmas. If you haven't taken a shift for Nights Before Christmas, We're looking for another 15 to 20 people to take those shifts. Ron's exempt, his house is on. But we're looking for a few more to join and take a shift, and of course, you get a free ticket when you do it. So, we're doing that, and we are, adding some things for our gift shop right in time for the holiday season. We've added stickers, magnets, keychains, all of those designed in-house. And so we've gotten those. We did some t-shirts, some sweatshirts, and we launched an online gift shop. So we're selling merchandise online. People maybe they visited and then they get home and they go, I get that thing from Madison. So our team has been really, really busy between the Comfort Station trolley and launching an online gift shop and doing all the other stuff. It's just been really crazy, but it's all really, really good. We had the Ohio River Way Summit last month, had over 175 people for that. That was a big deal to host that. About 100 of them came the night before and stayed. We offered walking tours around town, and then they did some paddling tours on the Ohio. So shows the potential of what we can do with the Ohio River. And I had a really good conversation with a business out of Louisville that wants to come do some things here in Madison on some limited weekends next year. So fingers crossed for that. I'll keep you updated. So I'll leave it there for my report. I'll jump to Sarah's marketing report. If you don't mind, I'll just.
No,
slide right
yeah,
into
go
that.
right ahead.
Sarah's not here.
And we
but-
all received that last week.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
sent that, so I don't wanna go into too many details on it, but she's been doing a lot. Put out the holiday brochure and got that out November 1st. She designed all the things for the trolley tours, and you can see the motor trail update. Voiceover talent and script was finalized. They're in final stages of putting that together, editing that video and getting it to us. We anticipate getting that this week from them. And still doing really well on our social media marketing. We did finalize a billboard. It's a new wrap that's up. I think this one's on I-65. I need to look and see what Sarah said in her report. But that's the billboard that's up along I-65.
That's clean.
It is. We were very conscientious about not putting too many words on it. Let the picture do the talking here.
Yeah.
So, that's still a pretty small portion of our marketing,
Sure.
but it's a very visible piece. So I always like to show that off. So
When will it go up?
it's already up.
Oh, is it really? I haven't been
It is.
out on I-65 in a while.
Did it say, what date that went up? I don't remember now.
Where it just has a picture of it up, so.
Okay. Yeah, I
Just
think
a-
that one, I can't remember where that one is at. Maybe the one over by Scottsburg. I think that's where that one's at, because it replaced a full-size linear, that had faded. It was 3 or 4 years old, so.
It had to have been recently, like in the last,
It was, I think last week she texted me.
yeah, I was gonna say,
So-
and before Halloween, I was in Indy and came down and went there through Scottsburg and
Yeah, I think it was just last week. So, very proud of that,
yeah.
but I'll leave it there on marketing unless you have any other questions.
What's the status on the consultant and his report back?
Oh,
On-
yes, I didn't even, discuss that, I had it right here, he had some health issues, and so he wasn't coming tonight. He changed his plans last minute, he's coming to the December meeting, for us, for you guys as well, if you're gonna go ahead and add that. The other thing is you received the 2-page kind of draft of what that looks like, the broad outlines, broad themes. But there will be a 20-page backup document, that goes into the details of what kinds of tactics are going to go along with these strategies that are listed. And so we should be having that, this evening or tomorrow morning. I should have that, be able to get it all sent out to you, and then we can review it before the December meeting. I just, last week, late in the week, he had the health issues. I started looking at it going, I don't wanna rush this through. I want everybody to be able to take a look at it, me not say, look at it over the weekend, you gotta get it around. And so he said that was fine with him, and so, I will have something this week, get it to you guys, and then hopefully do an approval from our board, and this board, and also take it to JCTA in, December.
How many items would you say are on those sheets? I mean, can you
this
boil that down to one thing about what you're trying to do? I mean, there's like 50 things on there.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
there's like 16 of these strategies, that are on here. And his thing that he keeps reminding us is, some of these we've started doing, but some of these are above and beyond what we're already doing. So he said, you'll wanna take these, you can't bite them all off in 1 year. That's why it's a 3 to 5 year strategic
Okay,
plan.
that helps me.
Yeah, it's.
Was I about to spit up when I read that list?
Yeah, no, cause I think our entire staff did too, they were all like, wait, we're gonna start these next year in addition to what we're already doing, but they're meant to be taken off, put a timeline next to them and say, okay, this one's probably 24, this one maybe 25, 26.
I like that.
It'll creep toward probably 2030,
Okay.
and
So he
what-
will bunch those into timelines.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the goal is that we will update this internally at least every year, and then beyond that, keep updating it, have him come in every few years and.
Now, when you get this to the next stage, when you have it, let's say you have an item that's gonna be done this year, are you gonna have a list of, this is not just a kind of a vague goal. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, so those are kind of the vague goals on this 2-page sheet, and then the tactics in that 20-page document. At least from what I've been told, and I've seen other communities you've done it for, and it's a list of, you do this, and you do this, you do this, and then there's a parentheses 2025. Or this one you start in 24, you go into something else in 25, and so.
Are you guys working with him to make sure that it makes sense for Madison?
Yeah, so that's what, when he gets it to me, I'm gonna review it and say, this is possible. Yeah, that one's not possible next year, just knowing all that we have on our plates.
And what's on that sheet? Did that come from his interviews around town, or is this just something that he always does wherever he goes, or what?
This came from, I mean, some of it's just his knowledge, but some of it is what he talked about when he had individual meetings. We met with Arts Alliance, we met with Main Street. And then our entire staff spent 2-3 days with him or something over the course of 2 visits.
Yeah.
And so took kind of where everybody thought things needed to go, and he's kind of distilling that into different strategies.
It's a worthwhile effort, you know?
It is. Well, it gives us that big target on the wall that we can all point to and say, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. And if something comes up and somebody says, hey, we really want you to take this on, we go, well, how does it fit into where we know we need to go? Some things will just come up and, yeah, we need to do them, but otherwise, it may give us the ability to kind of back off of some other things that they're pointing at squirrels, and it keeps us from chasing squirrels everywhere.
And there's so many noble things on that sheet that I thought I was reading the New Testament at first.
There's a lot of good words in there. Yeah, so hopefully I'll have some more for you here this week.
Andrew, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Moving on, partnerships and projects. Aaron, you're up. You're ready to roll with Riverfest.
I have Jake Stewart here with me tonight too. He's on the executive committee of Riverfest, just kind of giving his additional support, but I wanted to give you guys a few headliners and just start off by saying thank you so much for giving the grant to us. We came to you in April with the application asking for 35,000, and you made the decision to give the big three each 25, and we are so immensely thankful for that. We try our best to do all we can to bring more people to Madison with all the events, and I think it makes our little town pretty awesome, so we appreciate your support with that. just to kind of let you guys know what we did with the money and how the event turned out for us this year. So obviously, you guys know that we lost Dave Butler this year, which was a huge hole that we had to fill. We had amazing blues committee members and new members just step up and do everything that they could to fill his shoes, and all the things that we knew that he did and the things that we didn't know that he did, which that's hard to explain. But with a volunteer committee, there's just things that some people are so passionate about, they just take care of it. So they did a wonderful job. Garnet Tipton stepped up into the new blues chairman position, which I don't know if any of you might know him, but he has amazing musical contacts and is just louder than life and just getting everything done. So he's already up and rolling with new blues lineups for 2024. So, but losing them, we had some pretty big shoes to fill. We're working on some memorials for both Dave and Rick this year. We've been in contact with a few people, and I'm getting ready to reach out to the family and do a little bit more there as well. But we did have a memorial at the celebration as well. But we sold 3,373 tickets this year. Just to put in perspective, that's right in between what we sold in 2022, which was our 20th anniversary, and then more than we did in 2021. So less than last year, but more than the year before. But since we increased the prices, we actually made more money this year, which was good. Some new opportunities, vending and some ancillaries. We were able to bring back some really cool events that we had to kind of push by the wayside because of COVID and just not having the funding to do it. But we brought back pig toss. We worked on bringing back some entertainment pieces for the in-betweens to kind of make it look more like a festival. I get my years a little bit mixed up, 2021, I guess. We were just trying to survive, but we want to look fun and look like a festival again and make sure everybody's having a great time and being really entertained. Kevin Williams stepped into the vending position, and he's doing a fantastic job making sure that we actually have food for everybody. And we worked on the lines and everything this year, which we're super excited about. And then with your funding, again, it helped with all of those things, but specifically with marketing, we were able to do about 41% for radio marketing, about 23% for social media, about 31% went to print, and about 3% to like other things. So I don't know if you guys see my smiling face on wave 3, which I always love TV interviews, but we get to do wave 3 listens live again this year, which was really fun. And then we did, I can't remember, there's 2 of them.
There was a second one, I don't remember.
That was a really crazy one because they were like, oh yeah, you could come and you could cook something and do all this stuff. And so we bring 2 other people, and then they're like, you've got 30 seconds. And I said, I don't know what I can say in 30 seconds to make, it was just the craziest thing, but it was a great experience. So, but I think it really reaches people because they're hearing us on the radio, they're seeing the print. Our committee members go to several different festivals. So the earlier we get our rack cards out, they're taking them and hitting festival goers that like that type of thing too. So that's really awesome. But that's pretty much all I have. I talked to Andrew about the economic impact report. He said he's putting all of that together to present to you in December. So we're just going to kind of bypass that for right now. But we really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting Riverfest and all the events in Madison.
Before you sit down there,
No, you're fine.
do any of you guys have any questions? Because we always talk about, we pony up capital, or we believe in a certain organization, and then they come and present. And number one, thank you for presenting.
Absolutely.
Just giving us feedback of our return on investment. I'm not gonna ask the question, do you think it was a good investment or not? I absolutely do. But are there any questions that we may or may want to ask her? I'm not implying anything. I just want to press pause and just see if Aaron, if we've got anything for Aaron at all.
Is it appropriate to ask what kind of shape you're in financially?
I can't present it to public now, so I will say that we did lose money again this year, which I am sad to report. The fact of the matter is that we had an opportunity to get Tower of Power to the event this year, it's a band that Dave Butler has learned for a million years. We could have voted to increase the blues budget to capture that band, which we were able to. But again, that put us back kind of to where we were with dealing with larger bands. You're dealing with more rider items that they require to have there. They were kind of a bear to deal with. But on top of that, a few things have changed, and this is information I plan on reaching out to a couple of the other like regatta and stuff too, just so they're aware of it. Their backline and things this year, we were hit with about a $10,000 increase that we were not anticipating in any way, shape, or form. The company that we went through, it's the same company we've went through for the past several years. They're under new management, and we tried to reach out to other companies, and basically what they said is it's happening across the board. Fall festivals, they know that we need it, and they're gonna make us pay for it. So
What does backlining mean?
backline is basically all the requirements you need for the bands backstage. So when they give us the
Okay.
riders, they might need certain risers to lift up their instruments. They might need certain spotlights. They might need certain backup instruments, things like that. So that was a pretty incredible cost. And then also the stage company, which we use the same stage as Regatta, I believe. The stage increased somewhat this year, but the cost to actually have individuals build the stage, the guy that we used, his company that we used last year, was no longer doing it this year. And the new company that they were partnering with wanted to charge $45 an hour for each individual. And I told him, I said that there was absolutely no way we could afford that, but true Madisonians, we were able to get some people to agree at a lesser price,
Yeah.
but it was still more than we anticipated.
How much money do you think you're gonna need next year?
We have decreased the blues budget, by a decent chunk. So I guess just to put in kind of perspective, our budget was around $120,000 this year, and we dropped it down to about $80,000. Our goal is to not lose quality of bands, which we're not. We're working on some really amazing bands right now. It's just a matter of the type of bands that we're going for. So we're looking for more up and coming, people that have a big following, that kind of thing. And we've got new young blood on the blues committee too. So I have really high hopes for what they're gonna do.
Don't be shy. No, next year, don't be shy. It's a great event.
Yeah, I've had amazing reports. I mean, I think everybody that went really enjoyed it and had a great time. But again, I want to say, just looking at our event, and I love our event. I volunteered for 10+ years before I took this position, but I feel like after COVID, we're trying to come back, but I want us to be a festival again. I want people to see what they're walking into before they even get onto our block. You know, we want them to have a lot of fun with it. So we're getting
So Aaron, your budget this past year was 120, and next year for 2024, you're gonna drop it down to 80?
for the blues.
Okay, for the talent.
Yes.
So are you doing that based off of, you know, the quality opposed to the quantity? I'm just like, in my head, do you have 4 big boys that are 20K a piece? I mean, I'm just, you know, for simplicity, opposed to, you know,
So
12.
we're going for some big boys, but then we're going with filler bands that might cost a little less, which require a lot less and rider information. So like with the bands that we had to have 3 green room trailers. So going with smaller band sizes, or we're not going to be required to provide them with a green room trailer backstage, or maybe the top band will need both of the trailers, but the band before them won't need any trailers, so then we can still pull that off, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
A little bit too is, well, it's great to have large national bands. We're looking at bands that have a really strong regional. I mean, look at the Louisville Crashers. Whenever they show up, people flock.
Yeah.
So and not that we're not that band specifically, but trying to do a little more research on more regional bands that will draw a crowd also, but without the big dollar.
yeah, well, and it's kind of, I mean, this is very strange. You got to get to a certain point to see the rider. But some people you can get the bigger band price, but since they're on such a tight schedule, they're only gonna be here for a night. So then you can get them for less because they're on their track to go someplace else, and then you're not paying for 2 hotel room nights for 14 people. You
makes
know, it's
sense.
a it's a weird monster, so.
And to your question, and I think you're gonna agree with me, so often the better performances are by some of the earlier bands rather than the headliner. Not because the headliner isn't very talented, but these earlier bands, in many cases, are just as talented. They just aren't as well known. Maybe that's a good way of saying it.
They're trying.
But more importantly, they're hungry.
Yeah.
And they're trying harder than that headliner band.
Yeah.
So a lot of times those earlier bands really make the show pop.
Okay.
But the bands you get are what make it successful, right?
Mhm.
So don't send a boy.
Well, we're
Your
still
man's
working on
job.
sponsorship, so I mean, they're still making those decisions and reaching out to the artists to try to tie people down. And I'm still working on sponsorship, so if I'm able to tie in something larger specifically for that, I mean,
Well, our
We can
new
make that
director, our new chairman, Garnet, has extensive, connections in the music industry.
Yeah.
He was kind of a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
So he knows how to garner these bands and how to talk to them.
Okay,
And yeah, so it'll make a big difference.
that's cool.
Well, it's a great event.
It's my favorite.
we appreciate, we have a great team. I always say, I'm not the director of Riverfest, I'm just the coordinator and they do all the work and I just try to make sure papers are signed and in the right places, so
Huge job.
they're wonderful.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
If you think of anything else, let us know.
All right, Team USA, moving on. Any Tourism Alliance committee updates?
We haven't had a meeting. We were supposed to have one whenever Dawn comes
Right.
tomorrow, but we aren't having that. We'll push that to December.
Our next meeting is December 18th. I had some proposed future dates that I sent out. Y'all wanna run? Doesn't matter for you.
Yes, I
Makes
thought
us-
maybe this would be my last meeting, but looks like they're gonna make me
No, we want you
ride
back.
it all the way to the end.
We all privately agreed we're gonna have 3 more in December.
Even if we don't do it.
Pretty cynical.
Oh,
We don't do it.
Jesus. Aaron seems like we do. Okay, sent messages. Gonna pull up what I sent you guys. Proposed, here we go. Yeah. So,
What are you writing them down? I'm just, gonna write down December the 18th.
I mean, I looked at, my calendar when I was putting these down. I mean, there's 2, maybe 3 that I won't be able to attend because of baseball. But barring an emergency or sickness or anything like that, I personally am solid who initiated the dates, but they were similar.
Yeah, I think you went to the third Friday.
Yeah, second, thirds.
You try to put them on the days when you'd have baseball or what?
No. I do know, like, yeah. March and April are gonna be tough for me. Well, I had Victoria do 3 meetings this past spring, cause I'm driving the bus and I'm the only one that's licensed to drive the bus. Which was a funny license to get. Does anybody have any issues? Do we need to vote on this? Yeah, I mean, I remember last year you proposed them and everybody was like, yeah, sounds good to me. I put the 2 special meetings in there for March and August. But I do have a question. And Ron, your opinion's, super important in this for next year as well, but like, Aaron and the other 2. Do we want them, are we gonna have a special April conversation about them? The big 3, or would we like for them to come in March?
Sooner is better.
If we have the big 3 come earlier, then that leaves more time for the others that we know we're gonna have to that we're gonna be listening to, so. We know that we're gonna be listening to those 3 proposals, if they can have them together by then.
As a requester, will the application be changing because previously you acted like it might be? And I didn't know if that was happening or not. Cause that determines how easy it is for us to apply.
No, Jess, it's a great question. So
Making it harder on you. You're making it harder on the.
incorporate hikes and foot races for time.
Some competition here.
I know.
Not just show up and.
Who wants it, guys? You know, I mean,
Push-ups, can you do? Doesn't count?
Doesn't count.
All the way down?
No,
Oh, shoot, I'm in trouble.
Minute to win it, let's go.
Let's get into it.
Minute to win it.
So Victoria mentioned to me, you know, full disclosure this year, how after August, she wanted to make some changes
Yes,
that she picked up on and learned from the process. That's all I got.
okay.
Yeah,
And I know
and-
she said something like that in.
Yeah, and well, last meeting, I didn't mean to put her on the spot, but I nudged her and I texted her before, hey, you know, do you want to mention that? And she had, nothing's come out of it so far.
I've been pretty busy.
Yeah, no, I guarantee it. So I don't know. The current application, it's not bad, and it's not bad at all. I can't answer that question, but also, if I'm in your shoes, if the application changes, it would be tweaked, Jess, it wouldn't be changed. Right? Like, and what I mean by that is it's not gonna be a big like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I need to, so
12 pull-ups.
12 bullets.
80 push-ups.
Is this meeting being recorded?
Yes, it is. If it drops in the paper, we'll make that, I can always.
Well, I think the big thing is just making sure a version is available.
Yeah.
So that everybody knows when the deadline is, they need to fill it out.
Absolutely. So the dates that were proposed, are you all good with them?
I'm good with
Thanks, Rob.
I assume they were all Mondays. I didn't study it that hard.
Yeah. There's a couple Sundays, 2 Saturdays.
As long as they're not.
Riverfest Saturday is on there, so throwing that out.
Not the same. one.
Well-
Recording.
Yeah, we should do it Sunday, I'm really looking.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving. I enjoy being on this board because we can give, and that's fun. And I hope everybody's safe this Thanksgiving and enjoy the moments. So,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
second, all in favor?
I-
Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned